What's going on today, guys? So today, got the 4500 back in the shop, kind of. Big reason why is because I bought another light bar. As you may know, we put a 30-inch Baja Designs OnX6 curved light bar on it a month ago or so. And for the sake of science, I bought a second one, except for this one is straight. As you guys know, I'm definitely a big fan of the Baja Designs products. The downside is they are expensive, but they're definitely worth it. And I want to know which one of these two light bars is going to be the best one for lighting up the road as we go down pulling the toy hauler. Can never have too much light. I want something that throws light as far as possible down the road, but so you can see like a wild animal or something like that coming out. But you also need it to have like a decent spread on it too, so you can see an animal like coming up to the roadside. So let's go test these things out and let's go see which one comes out on top. So first up, we're testing the straight light bar out. And as you can see, it goes really plenty far down the road. You don't have any issues at all seeing distance-wise. When we were driving around going down the freeway and stuff like that, once I could actually turn the light bar on, it was not a problem at all seeing plenty far enough ahead to give yourself a bunch of stopping distance. The only thing that I wish it had a little bit more of was a little bit more on the kind of lighting up the ditches and lighting up the sides. But otherwise, it lights up the immediate area very well, and it also reaches out there really far too, so definitely liked that. Alright, now we're on to the curved light bar, and as you can see, it lights up the sides of the road a lot better. It still does go plenty far down the road, but it also lights up the ditches, which is really nice. Definitely doesn't go quite as far, but still goes plenty far for what I would need. Maybe if you were, a trophy truck or something like that going 100 miles an hour, it wouldn't be quite as good as the straight light bar, but overall still does everything that I need it to. Now, in order to really see the differences between these two, we need to look at them side by side. So here, let's check that out. Alright, I tried to lay these both out as close as I could. It was definitely a challenge to do that, but as you can see, the straight light bar has a lot bigger hotspot right in front of it that lights up a lot, whereas the curved light bar really disperses that light out to the ditches, which is kind of nice. Now, again, you can't really tell in the videos, but in real life, you could actually tell a little bit of a difference with how far they threw light. Now here is a really good way that you can see both of them side by side. If you look at that first telephone pole on the left, you'll see that the curved light bar actually has it illuminated a little bit better, but if you look down the center of the road, the curved light bar seems like its illumination kind of ends about there, whereas the straight light bar really keeps going, and you can see that second telephone pole, you can see that one a lot better with the straight light bar. This is just like an in-cab view, just so you could see what it would be like. Basically, kind of tried to position the camera about where your eyes would be, just to kind of give both of them a really good comparison, and overall, they're very similar. So if you really have to look for the differences between the two, because they're both so good and they throw so much light. Since both light bars are so similar, when you're just driving down the road, I flew the drone up because I wanted to see, if there really was a difference once you got up above, if you could really actually see a difference between the two. Alright, overhead view. This is with the light bar on, which again is connected up to my high beams. You can see it reaches down the road plenty far, but this is just my high beams. So compared to just the high beams and now the low beams, as you can see, the light bar makes a massive difference. This is high beams, there's the light bar. Makes my high beams and my low beams look like candles. Now let's check out the curved light bar. Now when swapping between these, I did make sure to put a level on the front face of the light bar to make sure that they were both aimed the same. So there's low beams, now high beams, and now light bar. As you can see, once again, massive difference, but not that much different from the straight light bar. In order to see that, let's put both of them side by side, and I think that'll really make it a little bit easier to see what differences there are. Alright, so here we have them side by side. As you can tell, curved on the left, the straight one on the right. The hot spot on the straight one is definitely a little, more intense right there in the immediate front. But as you can tell, it's also definitely a little bit narrower, whereas the curved light bar really does light up the ditches on both sides pretty well, which is definitely kind of nice, which is what I was wanting it to do. But overall, super similar. One thing that I think is good to address is there is a price difference between the two light bars. So the straight bar comes in at $1,132.95, whereas the curved light bar comes in at $1,338.95. So there is a $206 difference. Now, as far as the life of the light bars go, they're both rated for just shy of 50,000 hours, and they both put out 32,000 lumens of light. So plenty of light from both, and a whole lot of life as well. All right, let's head back to the shop, and let's see what we learned. Alright guys, so what do we learn? Comparing both the curved light bar and the straight light bar. I originally had the curved light bar on here, and I actually think for me, I'm going to stick with that. The reason being, when I'm, towing the toy hauler or something like that, right, I'm not driving super fast. I basically do the speed limit or even actually a little bit under. I want to be able to see as far ahead as possible, but I also really want to be able to see off the road into the ditches and medians a good bit as well. That way I can see if there's anything that's coming out there, coming towards the road from either side. That's where I think the curved light bar really excels. Now, if this was, just kind of like my runaround truck, and I use it for commuting and whatnot, I would probably then opt to run the straight light bar. That one definitely reaches out further, no question. It just doesn't give me that extra little bit on the sides of the road that I would like to have. I don't think you can really go wrong with either of them. I think both of them are a fantastic product. I just really like the way that this curved one works, especially because we threw that spot lens there in the center. I think that really helps it reach out just that extra little bit. It's nowhere near as good as the straight light bar as far as distance goes. For me, I think this one's the way to go. I'm going to throw a link in the description down there for both of them, just in case you guys want to check them out. Like I said, definitely don't think you can go wrong with either one, but for me, I like the curved one the most. One test that could be pretty dang interesting would be the light bar versus all the off-road lights that are on the X3 for desert racing. I got a hunch I know which one would win, but I think it might surprise you. Let me know in the comments below if you guys think we should do that test. X3 versus the 4500 with a light bar. Let me know.